hope you're well and that you're keeping warm. I hope that you had a lovely afternoon yesterday. Thank you for sending me a few more tests yesterday. I really appreciate that. Okay, so guys, today we're going to do figures of speech again, or the rest of the figures of speech. So yesterday we did the simile, the metaphor, and the alliteration. Okay, so now we are going to do the rest. I see there's a few people still in the waiting room. Let's just give them 2 minutes to enter the class. Otherwise, I'm going to repeat myself, but it's fine. So, guys, another thing is I hope you see the chat is public, that everybody can see what you're typing. So this is something we do, but it's a privilege, not a right. Okay, so if you don't cooperate with us, we are going to put that chat in private again. Okay, so okay, let's start. Okay, figures of speech. If you're new, this is me. I'm your teacher. My name is Leandri, but I also go by Leah. So okay, so you're going to do figures of speech, and then we're going to do a few exercises. Okay, so the figures of speech. Like I said yesterday, we did the simile, the metaphor, and the alliteration. We're going to recap that quickly today, and then we're going to go to the rest of the figures of speech. Okay, so the figures of speech are the following. We have the simile, the metaphor, idioms, personification, alliteration, the hyperbole, and onomatopoeia. Okay, those are the 7 figures of speech that we use. Okay, so that's the 7 figures of speech that we're going to use. Okay, so idioms. What is an idiom? It's an expression of phrase that may be difficult to understand because it doesn't mean the same thing as its individual words mean. Okay, idioms are very common in English, especially in casual conversations, but even in formal speech and writing, we also find idioms. Idioms is easy. It's something that already exists. Okay, so idioms is something that already exists, like a fly on the wall, to be an unnoticed observer. Ants in your pants, like restless. Early bird, someone who gets up early. Joint at the hip, to be exceptionally close to someone. Elbow grease, hard physical activity. Break a leg, good luck. Cutting corners, doing something poorly in order to save time or money. Okay, so this is idioms. Do you have any questions for me regarding idioms? Idioms is something that exists. It's something that you learn and you learn the meaning. Okay, so I'm going to unmute you. If you want to be unmuted.
So, ma'am.
Hello?
Ma'am. Sorry, I'm late. Ma'am, what is our topic?
Figures of speech.
Figures of speech. So are these one of the parts in figures of speech?
This is, yes, we're going to do 7 figures of speech today. We're going to do the idiom, the simile that we did yesterday, the metaphor that we did yesterday,
Okay.
alliteration, personification, onomatopoeia, and a hyperbole. Okay, so that's the 7 figures of speech we're going to do today, and then we're going to do a few exercises regarding this.
Okay, so so these are one of them. Cutting corners.
Those are all those are all idioms. Okay, I'm going to go back to the idiom slide. I think personally I went too fast there. Let's just go back to the idiom slide. Okay, this is the idiom slide. Okay, so idioms is one figure of speech that we are going to discuss today. Okay, idioms is not something you can create or make like a simile or a metaphor. It's not something you can make or create. Idioms already exists. It's something that has a meaning. It's already there. It's stuff that everybody knows. Like, for example, if I say, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Everybody knows what that meaning is. And like, you two are joined at the hip. That means that you two are inseparable. Okay. So this idioms is important because it gives, on my slide, it says idioms adds color to English, and that is exactly what it does. If I tell you to, if somebody gives you a gift, you must never question it or complain about it. Okay? That is just something you say. But if I tell you to never look a gift horse in the mouth, it's going to be, it gives that extra bit of color. It makes it interesting. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go to the next slide, the next idioms. Okay, if I give you the idiom, this is something everybody knows, fly on the wall. That means to be an unnoticed observer about something. Okay, that means to be an unnoticed observer about something. Okay, ants in your pants, it means restless. Early bird means someone who gets up early. Joined at the hip means to be exceptionally close to someone. Elbow grease is hard physical activity. If I tell you to break a leg, it means good luck. Cutting corners is doing something poorly in order to save time. Okay, guys, this is your last warning about the chats. Okay, if somebody wants me to go back, it's fine. I'm going to go back at the end of the lesson. I'm going to recap that. We're going to do this tomorrow also, okay? Because it's quite a lot of information. So if somebody asks me to go back, just give me a chance to answer them. Like I said, we are going to do this tomorrow. Also, we're going to do, we are going to recap this tomorrow. I will, at the end of the lesson, I'll go back to the slides. Okay, so please keep calm. Okay, now an unnoticed observer is someone, if I tell you I want to be a fly on the wall, okay, that means I want to sit in, I want to be a fly on the wall in that meeting. I want to sit there, nobody must see me, nobody must hear me. I will just sit there and listen and see what's happening. Okay, that is what an unnoticed observer is. That is what an unnoticed observer is. It's somebody that sits and listens, but nobody else sees that person. Okay. So if I tell you I want to be a fly on the wall in a meeting, that's exactly what I want to be. Okay, now personification. Personification is when you give human characteristics to a non-human thing. Okay. Important. It's not something that isn't alive, because you can give an animal also a human characteristic.
Ma'am, for example, the trees danced in the wind.
Yes, the trees dance in the wind. That means I'm giving the tree a human thing that a human does. Nothing else in the world can dance. It's only a human that can dance. That is correct. Thank you. That is a wonderful example. Okay.
No, ma'am, I just wanted to give an example about an idiom.
Okay.
Make yourself at home.
Why do you think that is an idiom? Because remember, an idiom is something that means something different than the words that you say. Okay, so if you tell somebody to make themselves at home, it means exactly what they're saying. You must make your home my home, or my home your home. Okay, so it's important to remember what the meaning of an idiom is. Then I'm going to unmute you.
Ma'am, I have an example of an idiom also.
Okay.
Add fuel to the fire.
Add fuel to the fire. Yes. Add fuel to the fire. That means to blow something out of proportion, or to, if somebody's already in a fight, to motivate them a little bit more. Okay.
Ma'am, I have an idiom and a personification.
Okay.
So the idiom is, there is a snake in the grass, and the personification is the monkeys were like robot leeches.
Yes. The monkeys were like, okay. Oh, sorry, I didn't want to unmute you. I didn't want to mute you. I want you to explain to me what a snake in the grass means. The idiom. What a snake in the grass means.
It means someone is hiding something from you.
Yes, there's something not right about something. You're correct. Somebody's hiding something from you. Okay, Taryn, I'm going to unmute you.
An example of an idiom is piece. I have two idioms, ma'am.
Okay.
You're the apple of my eye, which means you're my favorite person. And it's going to be a piece of cake means it's going to be easy.
Yes, that is correct. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, one day I'm going to unmute you.
The moon smiled at me.
Yes, that is personification, because the moon can't really smile.
Yes, ma'am.
But that is correct. Thank you. Okay, so guys, let's continue. Okay, a hyperbole. If I say, let's make a hyperbole. A hyperbole is a figure of speech that uses exaggeration to express strong emotion, to make a point, or to evoke humor. Okay, so if I tell you something is hyperbole, it's a figure of speech that uses exaggeration to express strong emotion, to make a point, or evoke humor. Okay. An extravagant statement or figure of speech not intended to be taken literally. Okay. So if I tell you my shoes are killing me, that is hyperbole. I'm going to exaggerate this. I'm not going to tell you, oh, my shoes are hurting my feet. I'm going to tell you my shoes are killing me. Okay, so I'm exaggerating this to make a point about how bad my feet hurt, or how bad my shoes are hurting my feet. But you can't take that literally. Hyperbole is something you never take literal. Okay, because my shoes aren't literally killing me. The same as I died laughing. I didn't die laughing, but it was so funny that I actually laughed a lot and it felt like I was going to die. So it's that thing that evokes humor or gives you this, it makes a point, but it's not to be taken literally. Okay, so this is what's important about hyperbole. Any questions about that? Any questions about that? Okay, let's continue. Onomatopoeia. Okay, it's okay. Zoe, I'm going to unmute you. Oh, don't worry. Okay. Please.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
How are you, ma'am?
I'm fine, thanks. And you?
I'm good, ma'am. Ma'am, is this an example of another hypothele? Ma'am?
Yes, I'm listening to you.
My sister was waiting for the other shoe to drop.
The other shoe to drop. Okay, no, that is more like an idiom.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
A hyperbole is something that, like, when you tell me, my room is so dirty, my mom is going to explode when she sees it. Okay. When you're
Yes,
waiting for a shoe to drop, that is something, that is a phrase that you're not waiting for the shoe to drop. That's a phrase to say that you're waiting for it to happen, something to happen. Okay.
yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you, all of you, understand the difference between the what exactly a hyperbole is? Okay. Here I have, my head is killing me. If I have a headache and I say, oh, my head is killing me, it doesn't mean it's going to literally kill me, but it's this exaggeration to tell you, okay, my head hurts a lot. Okay. Do you understand that? Do you understand what hyperbole is? I think it's going to be easier if, not easier, but you're going to see it a little bit more clearer when we do the exercises. Okay, Kara, I'm going to unmute you.
Ma'am, I have an example of a hyperbole.
Okay.
My teeth are shaking.
My teeth are shaking.
Like
Okay, and what
I'm
do you...
cold.
Yes, okay, I understand. That is correct. Thank you. Okay, now, it means it's very cold. Okay, now, onomatopoeia. The formation and use of words that suggest the sound, the object or idea being named. Okay, so that means like the owl hooted, the corn went pop in the microwave. You see that word that is highlighted here in yellow? That word gives you the almost a sound that it's going to make, like the owl hooted, the corn went popped in the microwave, the car horn beeped, or the bees buzzed in the trees. So that is the word that almost like sounds like the action that is taking place. Okay. Just see here. I'm going to unmute you, Bandile. Yes.
Ma'am, I have a
Yes.
hyperbole and onomatopoeia.
Onomatopoeia.
So the hyperbole is, my dad is gonna freak when he sees my room this messy.
Yes.
And the onomatopoeia is the phone ringed loudly.
The phone ringed loudly. The phone ringed loudly. Yes, that can work. That can work. I'm just listening to the sound of that That can work. Okay, so the next one. I'm going to unmute you, Marley. Okay. Okay, I'm going to continue to the next slide. Okay, a simile. This we did yesterday. So basically, I'm just going to recap this quickly. Okay, a simile is a comparison between two things using the words like or as. A simile is a comparison between two things using the word like or as. Okay. Like I said, we did this yesterday. I think you're all okay with that, Kira?
Ma'am, example of a simile is his heart is cold like ice.
Yes, his heart is cold like ice. That is correct. Thank you. That is an example of a simile. Zoe?
Ma'am, another example of a simile is it is as hot as an oven.
It is as hot as an oven. Yes, that is correct. Okay. Let's go to the next one.
I feel like I am as slow as a sloth.
As slow as a sloth. Yes, that is correct. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to go to the next slide. Okay, metaphor. A metaphor is a direct comparison between two things. It's when I say something like her heart is gold. I'm directly comparing two things to each other. I'm comparing her heart to gold. Okay. We have here an example of another simile. I feel as fast as a cheetah. I feel as fast as a cheetah.
He is a snake.
He is a snake. Yes, it means he's sly and dangerous. Okay.
Ma'am, you are my pillow.
Just say that again. Sorry, you broke up. I didn't hear you.
You are my pillow.
You are my pillow. Yes, you are comparing someone to your pillow. Okay. Yes.
He is as tall as a mountain.
He is as tall as a mountain. Is that a metaphor or simile? Remember when I told you that if you see the words as or like, then you know it's a simile. Okay.
And she is a giraffe.
He is a giraffe. Yes, that means he's very tall. Just wait here. Okay. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, so that will be alliteration that we also did yesterday. Okay, so examples of that is, let's start with the beginning. Okay, so basically alliteration is when you have the repetition of consonants or sounds at the beginning of two or more words in a sentence. Okay, now what is important here is to remember that it can either be consonants or it can be sounds. Remember when I told you when we were writing the poems that it's important that you write for the ear. It's important to write for the ear and not how it looks necessarily. Okay, so it can be either the sound or the consonants. Okay, so curious cats can catch a cold. Frogs frequently frolic in fresh water. Never neglect nearby nerds. Okay, Taryn, I'm going to unmute you.
Ma'am, what does frolic and neglect mean?
Frolic and neglect mean the meanings of frolic and neglect.
Yes. What do they?
Okay. Frolic means like to play in a cheerful manner. Okay.
Frogs frequently play in a frequent manner in fresh water.
Frolic, it means frogs frequently, like most of the time, play in fresh water. It just, when you use those words, then it creates the alliteration that is important for the poem or for the text that we put that in. Okay, so Zoe, I'm going to unmute you.
Ma'am, I have one. Alliteration.
Okay.
Naughty Nick nipped on some Nutella.
Okay, that is correct. Thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay, Kira, I'm going to unmute you.
Ma'am, I have an example and it is I see seashells at the seashore.
Yes, I see seashells on the seashore. That is correct. Thank you. Okay, so let's just see. Okay, there's the exercises. I'm just going to go back to the first slide about idioms. Okay. Okay. Any questions about idioms? Any questions about idioms? Not an example of idioms, just questions about idioms that maybe you're struggling with. I'm trying to unmute you. Just have a look.
Ma'am, how do you
Yes.
tell the difference between idioms and similes?
How do you tell the difference between idioms and similes? Okay. Like I said, a simile always has the word like or as in. Okay, so idioms is not a comparison between two things. It's not like I'm comparing you to a giraffe because you are tall. Idioms is not a comparison. Okay, I think maybe sometimes we get confused with idioms and metaphors, which is also comparison but without the words like or as. But idioms is not a comparison. Okay, that's I think the most important thing you can remember. I'm not, if I'm talking about a fly on the wall, I'm not comparing you to a fly on the wall. Okay.
Yes,
I'm just
ma'am.
saying you must be a fly on the wall. I'm not comparing you to a fly on the wall. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. I just want to make sure that all of you understand this. Okay, guys, if you feel like you want to take a photo of the slides, you're more than welcome. This is my own work, and I give you permission to take a photo of the slide. Okay. Okay, just so you have that. Okay, the next one, personification, just a quick recap of that. Any questions about personification? Remember, it's not
Ma'am,
a yes.
ma'am, I wanted to say one about alliteration.
Okay, but we're not there at the moment. I'm not asking for examples now. We are just looking at each of the figures of speech. Okay, so the one where we are now is personification. Anybody that has a question about personification, not an example, just a question about this. Anybody that wants to ask me a question about this, remember, like I said, it's when you give a human, like a person, okay, person, I think that's where the word personification comes from. It's when you give a human characteristic to something that isn't a human, like the grass, the trees, the stars, okay, anything, the car. Here we have a car. It's when you give a human characteristic to something that isn't a human. Okay, so next one, hyperbole. Any questions there? Any questions? I know this one is a little bit tricky because it's this exaggeration. Okay, go to the next one. Onomatopoeia. It's like the information and use of words that suggest the sound of the object. Okay, like the pop of the corn in the microwave. And simile, like I said, is comparison between two things, like or as. That is a comparison between the two. The metaphor is a direct comparison between two things without using the words like or as. It's when I compare you to a pig without using the words like or as. It's when I say you are a pig, then it's a metaphor. If I say you're as fat as a pig, then it's a simile. Okay, so if you're looking for those two, then you always know, okay, so is there like or an as in the sentence? Okay, simile. Alliteration, that one is repetition of consonants or sounds. Repetition of consonants or sounds. Now, okay, identify the following sentences as similes, metaphors, or personifications. This is our exercise today in class. So guys, he is like a monster when he plays sports. What is that? Is that a simile? Is that a metaphor? Or is that personification? Okay, you see that? Guys, why are all of you so quiet now? Okay, so the first one is he is like a monster when he plays sports. So we are comparing him to a monster using the word like. Thank you. Here we have a hand. Yes. Okay, that is a simile because I'm comparing him to a monster and the word like is in that sentence.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The next one. He is a monster when he plays sports. He is a monster when he plays sports.
Ma'am, it's a hyperbole.
No, you just have the option as a simile, a metaphor, or personification. I'm comparing him to a monster. Yes, I'm comparing him to a monster, but there isn't a like or an as. Okay. Paying bills is like having your teeth pulled. Paying bills is like having your teeth pulled. So I'm comparing paying bills to teeth being. So is that a simile or a metaphor personification? Just going to go to the next one. Yes, Zoe?
Ma'am, it's a simile
Yes, it's a simile. Why is it that a simile?
because it has like.
Yes. That is correct. Like I said, if there's two things that's being compared to one another and the word like or as and that is in the sentence, then you know, okay. Okay, the moon was a silver ship sailing through the sea. The moon was a silver ship sailing through the sea. What is that? Okay, let's.
Ma'am,
Yes.
I think it is a personification.
Personification.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, yes, that's correct. Because that moon is sailing. That's something a human does, that we sail. Okay. She swims like a fish. She swims like a fish.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yes.
Simile.
Yes, it's a simile. That is correct. Thank you. Okay. Now, the water opened its arms and invited them in. The water opened its arms and invited them in.
Ma'am, it is a personification.
Yes, that is personification because it's something a human does. When your mother wants to hug you, she opens her arms. Okay, now, my brother is a clown. My brother is a clown.
Good morning, ma'am.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. And you?
It's a metaphor
Yes, it's a metaphor. Why is it a metaphor?
because they're comparing a brother to a clown.
Without what?
A like or an as.
Yes, thank you. Okay. The rain kissed my face as it fell. The rain kissed my face as it fell.
Ma'am, when you say the rain kissed your face as it fell, you're saying that the rain fell on you, and the rain was also coming on you when it was raining.
Okay. But is it a simile, metaphor, or personification?
It's a simile.
No, it's a personification because you see, the rain kissed my face. Kissing is something a human does. It's something a person does. Okay. So I'm saying the rain, which isn't a person, is kissing my face. So that's something a person does. Okay, next one. The strawberries are yelling, eat me first. The strawberries are yelling, eat me first.
Personification.
Yes, personification. It's because strawberries can't yell. They are not able to yell. It's something a person does. I'm yelling. She's yelling. Okay. Now, he is a rabbit lost in the woods. He is a rabbit lost in the woods. Is that yes?
It's a metaphor.
It's a metaphor. Yes.
Yes.
It's because he is being compared to a rabbit that is lost in the woods without the word like or as. Okay. Her glasses look like small bottle caps. Glasses look like small bottle caps.
Metaphor.
Are you sure?
No.
Okay, look at the sentence again. Her glasses look like small bottle caps?
Simile.
Yay, simile, because there's that little word like in that sentence. Okay, his eyes are shining stars in the middle of the night. His eyes are shining stars in the middle of the night. Is that a personification, a simile, or a metaphor?
A metaphor.
Yes, it's because, oh, sorry guys, that one is incorrect. I don't know why he did that. That is a metaphor because his eyes are being compared to shining stars that in the middle of the night. Okay, without the word using like or as. I'm wrong there. I will go and fix that. Okay. The engine coughed and cried when he started during the cold winter. Is that a, what is that? That is also personification. Okay. We're not going to have time to do the next slide. The next slide is also an exercise, but I will continue this tomorrow. Like I said, we are going to do this again tomorrow. I will recap this again tomorrow. And then we are going to do that irregular verbs and degrees of comparison tomorrow. Oh, sorry, Taryn, I accidentally lowered your hand.
Hi, ma'am.
Hello,
How are you, ma'am?
I'm fine, thanks, and you?
Good, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm asking how we're gonna still do tests.
We are still going to do tests, but we are going to do the Kahoot on Friday. We're going to do a Kahoot test on Friday. Okay. If you want to still do your test, it's still available on the website if you want to go there. Okay, Taryn, I'm going to unmute you.
Ma'am,
Yes.
can I ask you if this is a metaphor? The glass is half full and half empty.
If you know, that's an idiom. If I tell you the glass is half full, that means it doesn't literally mean the glass is half full or the glass is half empty. That means that there's always a positive. Okay, you understand that?
Okay.
That's not an idiom or sorry, that's an idiom. That's not a metaphor or the. Okay, Bramlin, I'm going to unmute you and then.
Ma'am,
Yes, yes.
if I may ask, what are we gonna do tomorrow?
We're going to do regular verbs tomorrow, and we're going to do degrees of comparison tomorrow.
Okay,
Like,
ma'am. Thank you.
pleasure is like fast, faster, fastest. Okay, and go. Okay, just last one. Okay, guys, we are, our time is up. So this is the last question. Yes.
Ma'am,
Yes.
I tried this other day. I tried when we were doing Kahoot. I tried how to do Kahoot, but it just said, Guti, you need 2 devices. So I asked my friend, Guti, do you need 2 devices for Kahoot? If I may ask, ma'am.
It's not necessary for 2 devices for Kahoot. You must just join my
Your number.
Kahoot. Yes, my number. It's not necessary for 2 devices.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
I will
Thank you,
put
ma'am.
in this time. I will put the link in. Okay. I will put the link in just for everybody's sake. So guys, I hope you had a lovely, or you're going to have a lovely day the rest of the day, and that you're keeping warm and the wind is not too bad where you are. And then I will see you again tomorrow. Like I said, we're going to do the regular verbs and degrees of comparison tomorrow, and then on Friday we're going to play Kahoot. Okay. So I hope you have a lovely afternoon.